Speedrunning fans around the world, you are watching Prevent-a-Thon 4 live on Twitch and benefiting Little Warriors, an amazing Canadian charitable organization focused on the awareness, prevention, and treatment of child sexual abuse. My name is Addy Joe, and I'm going to be your host for the next few runs, and I am so excited that we get to hang out once again, and let me tell you, we are in for a treat. We have an absolutely stacked lineup of games coming your way, and one of our upcoming runs, one of my favorite with this LOTR here, it's action-packed, and believe me when I say that you are not going to want to miss it. Speaking of that run, we are currently getting the Fellowship back together for Zojalyx's any percent, no cutscenes run of LOTR, the return of the king. And chat, this is your moment, your opportunity to say that we have your sword, your bow, and your axe by donating to Little Warriors. And donating is so simple. Simply click the pinned message at the top of the chat. That'll bring you to our donations landing page. Fill out your donation and be sure to add that Witch All Fights bonus run for Dicey Dungeons, of which we are only $40 away from unlocking it. So make sure you go ahead, hit that incentive, add it to your dono, and let's unlock even more Prevent-a-Thon. And with that, gamers, we are ready for our next run. Our next runner is, in my humble opinion, the Lord of the Ring games, holding 43 world records, over 9 Lord of the Ring games and category extensions. And if that wasn't impressive enough, just 3 days ago, they beat their own world record for the very game and category that they're about to run right now. So join me in giving a big Prevent-a-Thon welcome to Zojalyx as they do an any percent, no cutscenes run of Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. My friend, you bow to no one. Take it away.
Am back. I am so excited to be here and to show off this game and category. This is another game that I absolutely love, Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. Yeah, I run a lot of Lord of the Rings games, but this time I am not alone. Joined with me, my wonderful Fellowship member. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Pro Pokenoob. I hold 0 records, have played 0 Lord of the Rings games, and I love Gimli.
We love Gimli. We love
Happy to
Gimli.
be here.
Also, yes, behind me,
Gimli's
this is
great.
my own map of Middle-earth that I have stapled to a canvas, so that's really cool. Anyways, we're going to jump right into the run. We're doing any percent PC, no cutscenes. Basically, what this is it is a obviously on the PC port of the game, but we are running on a specific mod of the game that skips all of the FMV cutscenes, saving 13.5 minutes throughout the run, and just improving all of the pacing, because it just makes the entire run so much better, because you don't do like 5 minutes of gameplay with then getting it interrupted by a 2-minute cutscene. So timer is going to begin once I hit this easy difficulty. We play on easy. We don't have separate categories because it doesn't make a difference depending on which difficulty you run on. So with that, we are going to get started here in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So we're going to immediately jump right in. Apparently, the developers of both the Two Towers and Return of the King thought that starting a game with an auto-scroller was a wonderful idea. So we're immediately starting with an auto-scroller, but this auto-scroller is going to be quite different than what you saw in the Two Towers. Rather than having to count, we can just try and get as much EXP as possible. And you can see that since this is like the tutorial level in Helm's Deep here, which is the end of the Two Towers, but we won't worry about the lore confusions about why a game on the Return of the King starts at the end of the second movie, we are just gonna get a lot of EXP. And we've immediately jumped up to level 3, which is exactly what we want to see. A really nice section here. We're able to activate this bubble ability in the cutscene to get us right up here to this ladder without having to deal with any enemies. So how this game kind of differs from the Two Towers is in the Two Towers, we have very character-focused categories, but for the Return of the King, we have the ability and the requirement actually to use multiple characters. Unfortunately, I got this glitch known as Helm's Deep glitch, so we're going to be stuck here for about 30 seconds. There's nothing that I can do about that, but that's okay. We don't really know what causes it. This is kind of the next biggest thing that we're trying to figure out, because in any other PB attempt or something, this would be a reset, but the game will just immediately progress when it's ready. So basically, we are going to be playing as 3 separate characters throughout the course of this run. We're going to be playing as Gandalf, Sam, and Legolas. So you get to see kind of a variety of different strats and a variety of different characters, each associated with their own unique path. It is Path of the Wizard, Path of the King, and Path of the Hobbit. We're going to be doing them in that order. I'm the only one who actually routes the levels this way. You can route these levels in pretty much any way that you want. But I route it Path of the Wizard, King, Hobbit to get all of the RNG focused levels out of the way as quickly as possible, and then we can just focus on the execution at the end of the run, which is exactly what we want to see. So that's the end of Helm's Deep. We're going to be going into our upgrade section. We're going to be using the various experience points that we got throughout each level to upgrade our various abilities. We are going to be doing this very, very quickly because the PC version allows us to skip our EXP tallies and immediately show us what we can do. So we're buying Wizard's Power, Light of the Pilgrim, and or Cure. Light of the Pilgrim is going to be our first ranged upgrade, and then Wizard's Power upgrades that bubble ability that we saw before, and then Or Cure is our main combo that we're going to be using throughout the run. One of the unique things about Or Cure as well is we bought it as a Fellowship upgrade, and what that means is that it is an upgrade that is a little bit more expensive, but we give it to every single character, regardless of if we have played as them or not. So once a character hits the level that Or Cure is unlocked at, then they immediately get it without having to use any additional upgrade points. So while we do spend a little bit initially, it obviously saves time on the menuing. So this level is Road to Isengard. I am specifically taking time to kill enemies here because what this does is it actually does save time, because we're going to be manipulating enemy spawns. There's going to be a section coming up here where we have to kill 75 enemies, and by killing all of the enemies at the beginning part, it manipulates these spawns later on to force more enemies to spawn at the 75 section when it matters. It ends up coming out to be about 20 seconds of time save, if not more. That was discovered by a runner named Thinks the Clown, and it was optimized by another runner named Rude Beetle. So huge shout outs to them. A lot of great work from a, once again, tiny but mighty speedrunning community. So as you can see here, this is where the 75 section starts. These are the Ents. They're going to be both helping and hurting us as we take out these orcs. But we're just going to be taking time hitting these 75 enemies. So with that, I'm going to toss it over to Joe, our wonderful host, or if my co-commentator, Pokanoob, has any questions, feel free to chime in here as well while I just spend this time killing enemies.
Absolutely, Zoja. I got you covered. Everybody, I implore you to donate if you have the opportunity to do so. Any little bit helps. And I want to tell you a little bit about where some of your dollars go to. And the Little Warriors Be Brave Ranch Treatment Center opened on October 14th of 2014, meaning that it has now been open and helping survivors for 10 years. And since 2014, the Little Warriors Be Brave Ranch by Ray Labonte and family has helped hundreds of children, youth, and families overcome the profound impacts of their child sexual abuse trauma. Their safe, secure, multimodal, and culturally inclusive programs consist of a 1-year combined on-site and outpatient interventions programming that's designed to reduce mental health-related issues today and enrich future outcomes. That and so much more, your donations go towards to help mend those wounds and have a brighter future. Everybody, if you have the opportunity, please donate to Prevent-a-Thon 4.
Awesome. That was perfect timing. So we just finished up that 75 section. We now are going to be running over to the end of the level. So coming up here, there are going to be these towers that are going to have these archers that normally, if you played this game as a kid, you probably remember destroying those towers. But we are actually going to be choosing to not destroy those towers because A, it takes time and that's slow. We obviously don't want to do things that take more time because we are a speedrunner and we try to go through the game really, really quickly. But we are also not choosing to destroy these towers because at the end of this level, there is an Ent, which is one of the large tree people, that we have to defend from... whoa, what the heck? My game just tabbed out. That has happened a few times before, but it's not very often that that happens. So basically, we have to defend the Ent from these archers that are going to be shooting at it. But if you, for some reason, if you don't destroy these towers, then the archers that shoot the Ent don't spawn. So we can then just run down and just help the Ent fire, destroy the dam, and free Fangorn Forest from the clutches of the evil wizard Saruman. So we're just going to run down here and you will see him happily doing his job with 0 interruptions. It is a quite wonderful thing. So we're going to also do this really cool thing where I can set up and hold this very specific angle with my control stick, and I can shoot this at the dam, doing more damage to it, and it also will not aggravate that enemy to come attack me, as well as it does not spawn additional enemies to come down and fight me. So I can just sit here and help the Ent destroy the dam, and eventually then the level will be ending, which is really, really nice. It's a nice way to just obviously end this level. And this was a really cool trick that was actually discovered by a runner named PJ Arts of Darkness. He is an incredible runner of this game. He's second place on the PC leaderboards, and he is one of the top runners on console as well. So we're going to now end the level, go into our next level, Minas Tirith Top of the Wall. We're going to be starting off here with another auto-scroller. If you watched the 2 Towers run from last night, you remember me taking 8 minutes to run around and kick down ladders. Well, the developers of Return of the King learned from their mistakes and will only make us run around and kick down ladders for about 3.5. It's part of the reason why I have my splits, so that way I can keep track of how long this auto-scroller is going. Most of the time, runners will use the music, but because of copyright, I choose to play without music in this game. So, how this level is going to be working, obviously I said it's an auto-scroller, but up in the top right corner, you will see a map of this level. There are, and where you see those red squares, that is where the ladders are going to be spawning. And then that meter around it with the face of that wonderfully fashionable Urukai, that red meter will show how overran the wall is. If that meter then fills up, I will fail the level. And if that meter does not fill up, then we will be just fine. So, this is... with the way that this is all routed out, this level, the ladders spawn in the same pattern every single time. So as long as we just take a little bit of time to kill enemies, we will be perfectly fine to go through and take down these ladders and not have to worry about our reinforcement count at all. I will be keeping an eye on it throughout just to make sure we don't run into any issues. But with that, again, feel free to take it away. Pokenoob, I know you literally have not talked whatsoever. So how are you doing, Pokenoob?
You know what? It's actually a very nice break that I'm not talking a lot, because I do talk a lot whenever I'm given the mic. And I have a question for the literal Lord of the Ring game master here for you. Because here's the thing. I watch a lot of runs. I'm like a casual speedrunner. If I understand Lord of the Rings runs correctly, are all the games in a similar pattern with speedrun strategies where your goal is to finish everything before it starts? Because it seems like Lord of the Rings phases ramp up really quickly, but if you end it before that, nothing actually happens in the game and you're just overpowered and get off beats people with a stick.
Know, I've never thought about that until now, and I think for this run and the 2 Towers, that is definitely the case. For other games, it might be different, because Lord of the Rings runs are really, really, really unique, because just so many different variety of games out there for in the Lord of the Rings series. Like, you look at games like Mario and you're mostly going to be getting a 3D platformer, or you can look at a game like Zelda and you're mostly going to be getting an action adventure RPG style game. But the Lord of the Rings games all have so many different versions and different styles of games out there. We have the Two Towers and Return of the King that are your action adventure hack and slash games. We have the Third Age, that's a turn-based RPG. We have Battle for Middle-earth that are RTS games. And there's just such a wide variety that there's no real central theme to any of the runs. And if you really want to get crazy, we do have a 3D platformer in Gollum, but, you know, that's Gollum, and I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, there are a lot of various types of game runs within the Lord of the Rings series, but specifically for Two Towers and Return of the King, yeah, we're just going to be making sure that we do everything before they happen.
I feel slightly called out as a Pokemon player when you say that the games end up being the same, because you're not wrong. But like,
it's not a bad thing. I will not call it a bad thing whatsoever, because, you know, game series each have their own flair. And with like Pokemon and Zelda and Mario, you know, you've kept the same dev teams throughout. But the problem with Lord of the Rings games, and yes, I will call it a problem, is that the developers change for Lord of the Rings games so often that you're going to get a different style of game almost every single time. Because when you have a different dev team, they all have different strengths and weaknesses that they're going to play for. And you're just, yeah, everything is just always different. And it just makes it confusing.
I am kind of getting tired of the Pokemon run features really OP Pokemon found in the first 3 or 4 grasses, and then you run it all the way through. I agree with that. It's exciting to see all the different things, and even the strategies in this one. Like, you have something coming up in a few minutes that you improved yourself and showed off in your submission video that I'm really interested to see when you get there.
Yes, I do know what you were talking about, and that's a really fun strategy. But yeah, that... one of the cool things I think, I don't know, I will just say it. I will say my attraction to the speedrun of these games purely came from the childhood nostalgia. But honestly, these games just have such unique speedruns, and they're so easy to get into. I mean, this was like Return of the King was like the 5th game I think I ever speedran, and I've been speedrunning it since 2018. And there's so much to give too. I'll talk about it a lot throughout the run. There's also just 1,000 different ways you can run this game. You want to play with cutscenes, you can run on console. You want to do a run where you just run around as Gimli, we have a category extension for that. It's called Nobody Tosses a Dwarf, and I have yet to try it out. It is on my list. I'll probably do it sometime soon, but it's a phenomenal category extension. So there's a lot of really cool ways that you can speedrun this video game. And we do also have co-op categories for this game, so grab a buddy and run this game on co-op. So we're actually... Oh, yeah.
Hey, Zoja, speaking of buddies, really quickly, hey there, Fright Fatalis Raiders. Thank you so much for the raid. My name is Daddy Joe, and you are watching Prevent-a-Thon 4 live on Twitch in benefiting Little Warriors, an amazing Canadian charitable organization focused on the awareness, prevention, and treatment of child sexual abuse. We are in the middle of an amazing Zojalyx any % no cutscenes run of Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. We have an absolutely stacked lineup of games this evening, so please get comfy. And I have one request of all of you. If you have the opportunity to donate, please do so. Let us know who your favorite Lord of the Rings character is. And if you're not sure about the characters, tell us how you like your potatoes prepared. Boil them, mash them, or stick them in a stew. Get those donations in, and let's help make a difference for Little Warriors. Let's go.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody, from Fright Fatalis. My name is Zojalyx. I'm a Lord of the Rings speedrunner. I actually run a variety of different games, but Lord of the Rings is my main bread and butter. I'm very excited to be able to show this speedrun off to you guys. I love this game so much, and this game has a really great speedrun that I've spent a lot of time on. I was talking about when you guys got in here. So yeah, with that, we are going to go into Minas Tirith Courtyard. This is the reason why I run the route that I do. It's this level right here. And the reason why I say that is because in this run, in this level, we have to save 200 refugees, and all of these refugees, they are going to be controlled by the worst dictator in most speedruns, and that is RNG. So they are RNG is the biggest factor for how good or bad this level is going to go. It could very much be your fault, it could very much not be your fault, and you will either save time or lose a lot of time. It is a rough part of speedrunning this video game, but honestly, it's really not a big deal in comparison to what the rest of this run has in terms of its beauty. So yeah, we're going to be seeing these refugees. There are also going to be a variety of enemies that are going to be coming through here. We are wanting to obviously keep these enemies at bay, so that way our refugees can get through, can get to the exit as quickly and as safely as possible. So one of the nice things about this level is that all of the enemy spawn waves are the exact same, and they are the same patterns at every 20 enemies. So at 40 enemies, we get a different wave of spawns. At 60 enemies, we get a different wave of spawns. At 80, etc., etc. So it becomes a little bit easier to help predict. However, there is still a thing known, still RNG is still a major factor. Like you can see, we have this one refugee over here on this post. This poor person is completely stuck. I don't know if I can actually manipulate them to get them out, but they're completely stuck, and they're just going to continue to be stuck, and that is really, really unfortunate, because with them being stuck, we learned as we have dive deep into trying to figure out ways we can make this level faster, is that the spawn rate of the refugees comes from the amount of refugees that are already in the level. So if you have a lot of them in, no more are going to be spawning. There's only like a certain cap that can happen for each spawn. And so this is something that us as speedrunners, we don't really have a lot of control over, because we can only do so much to keep the enemies at bay. But if they are not going to be nice to us, then, well, we just kind of have to live with it and hope that we can at least keep the enemies off our back enough. This archer is just here. I'm just going to not even make him a factor. So another thing that this level is introducing are orc captains. Orc captains are these big honking enemies with their own unique health bars. They also do a lot of damage, as well as they have armor that we have to break. And so once we break the armor, then we can actually start doing damage to the health bar. So this level becomes very chaotic very, very quickly as we try and get through this level and make sure that the RNG lords are nice enough to us to have us not lose too much time. But since it's a marathon, I don't really worry about it too much. We just have fun, try not to die, and continue to encourage you guys to donate more money to Little Warriors, because it is an absolutely amazing cause. And it's been an absolute blast to be a part of this marathon and to show off my two most favorite speed games to you guys in The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers and Return of the King. Again, any more questions, feel free to Pokenoob, chime in, or if you guys have any questions in chat, just let me know. I would love to be able to answer them, because I know that sometimes watching a speedrun of a game that you've never seen before can be really confusing.
Well, I've been thinking about this since the beginning. You think if Gandalf was in an episode of Friends, he would introduce us as How You Human?
Did you just... Oh my gosh.
Yes, I did. I know what to do. I'm tapped in. I'm engaged. But seriously, what's the most ridiculous NPC you've seen in this level?
Probably the most ridiculous is the one that gets stuck on the pole over here, because for some reason they just won't go. The rest of this level is pretty straightforward. I think I've seen some enemies like fly randomly, but that was when I did a 17-hour speedrun of this game. Because that is a category. We have max %, which is beating every single level with every single character, as well as getting every single character to max level, which comes out to about essentially 9 100% runs of this game. Very, very hectic category. Super fun, super hectic, super long. Everybody should try it out. Return of the King max %. But yeah, you can see some pretty weird shenanigans when you've had this game running nonstop for 17 hours. So this is the 150 section. This is where we get trolls. We have, so you know that one legendary Halo mission that comes up where it says current goal survive? That is what happens when you hit the 150. Enemies are just going to be coming in non-stop. Refugees are going to be coming in non-stop. It is going to be an absolute chaotic mess of enemies and just everything happening constantly, and you'll have very little control over the situation that you find yourself in this part of the level. And so we have one goal, and that is don't die, which can be very difficult when a troll whacks you in the face with his large club, which obviously can happen. Also, we like spears. Spears one-shot everything, including trolls. So rather than fighting trolls like some normal person would, we just throw a spear at it and it will die, which we very much appreciate as a speedrunner. So if you guys have any more questions, or if there are any donations, you guys should really be donating. I want to know your guys' favorite characters or how you like your potatoes. So please, guys, get your donations in.
Hey, Zoja, I got you covered. We got a $2 donation from Cell that says, Aragorn was always my favorite character. Also, I want more Dicey Dungeons because I love math game smiley face. And a quick update on that, everybody. We have raised 1,820 Canadian dollars for Little Warriors. Thank you so much. We've got a couple of incentives that are open at this moment. We have for Dicey Dungeons, the Halloween episode, which all fights bonus run. We need to meet that by the end of the Dicey Dungeons run, which is coming up right after this. We currently sit at $112 of the $150 needed to unlock it. So we're only $38 away. Chat, I believe in you. Tell us about those characters, how you like those potatoes, and let's make it happen. And that second incentive, which it's a little bit out of the way, it's a little down the line, but you can help pet the mayor in Alan Wake 2 Night Springs. Only $30 needed to unlock that. But let's get that Dicey Dungeons done first. Come on, everybody, we can do it.
You know, I was just thinking about this. We just got this big Fry Fatales raid, and if everybody in chat donates, we will easily exceed that incentive. So you guys should very much get your donations in. Also, there's 1,000 EXP there from Gandalf, but we are going to be finishing up Courtyard, and we're going to be moving on to my personal favorite level, Paths of the Dead, as we finish off the Path of the Wizard and move forward into the Path of the King. So, Path of the King follows our 3 characters, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. We just had somebody say their favorite character was Aragorn. Unfortunately, we will not be playing as Aragorn in this run because Legolas is just so much stronger. So in Paths of the Dead, we are going to be starting off by backwards hopping through the fog, because when you are in the fog, the game forces you to walk, and walking is slow. So instead of running or walking, we backwards hop. So we're just going to ignore these ghosts. They're not relevant for what we need to do. We're going to jump up here into this first fight and get ready for our first fight against the ghosts. We're going to be activating Legolas's ability, Devastating Mode, which makes him do extra damage as well as increase that hit meter. So now, as we get into this fight, we are in perfect mode, which then maximizes the amount of EXP that we grab for this fight, and then we can clean it up very, very quickly. So another thing that each character has differentiate is they have 2 different types of attacks that they can do. They have quick attack, or they have speed attacks and fierce attacks for their melee attacks. Speed attacks are fast but don't do as much damage. Fierce attacks are slower but do a little bit more damage. Those are what you will see whenever we are fighting shielded enemies. And then each character also has a ranged attack, and their ranged attacks, you can use them in 2 various ways. You can do a quick shot or a charge shot. Legolas has the fastest draw rate of any of the characters, and so his charge shots essentially will fire off very quickly, almost similar to that of other people's charge shots. So by getting those charge shots off, we can do the maximum amount of range damage and take out enemies much faster. This is the whole reason why we play as Legolas, because his bow just gets through fights so fast, and you'll see that come up here. And well, you saw that come up in that first fight. You'll see it come up all throughout this level. But this is my favorite level because The fog movement is super fun. The fights are super fun. And it just overall is like a really nice showing of execution. There's not a lot of RNG that really comes into this level. It is just primarily just a showing of your ability to understand Legolas's abilities, how he functions, as well as move through the level and utilize the little bits of movement tech that we can, because this game is not as crazy intense on movement like other games, but it does still have its own flair in this level, which I just absolutely love. So you can see here, cleaning out all these enemies real fast, just like we would love to see the Prince of Mirkwood do here. And we're going to take out this Ghost Captain. Ghost Captains are just like Orc Captains, they just don't have armor. So 2 charge shots and a quick shot will take them out, and that will then allow us to move on. And now Legolas is going to show some crazy strength by just giving this little statue a slight little elvish nudge and knock it over. So either that thing was very close to being destroyed, or Legolas is just that strong. I like to vote on the latter, because especially it's really funny when you play this level as hobbits and they come over and push it over. And so you just see these 3-foot guys pushing down that giant statue, and it's just, it's amazing. So we're going into the last fight in this level. This is the 35 fight. It is a force fight. I'm going to be kind of focusing a little bit more during this fight. We have to take down 35 ghosts, but this is where I'm going to be having to focus a lot on my positioning, timing, as well as have RNG work in my favor, because I want to be able to use my range attacks the most amount possible, but we do see here that I only have 15 arrows to work with, so I'm going to have to be hoping that I get an arrow drop at some point. So I will be focusing. Pokenoob, I don't know if you have anything you want to talk about. This would be a great time for you to just take over, or you guys can also get your donations in with your favorite characters, so that way we can continue to talk about just this incredible fantasy series. I'm not biased at all with my opinion there.
I'm just waiting for Gimli to jump around. I understand speed, but Gimli. I relate. I'm a short guy. I can't grow the beard, but like stocky. I don't like being thrown either. It's just I feel the most related to Gimli. And coming up, like I remember you saying this when I was looking at. I took notes on the one fight that is coming up, so I know that this entire section is very precise and requires a little bit of luck, but a lot of not messing up. Because the moment something goes absolutely wrong, like we were saying before, this particular game, if phases start advancing, things get very much out of hand.
Yep.
So, but Zojalyx is the best at this, and he's gonna do
so we'll start talking about it. So coming up next is going to be the King of the Dead. That is going to be the a boss fight that we had a strat that was developed by a strat hunter named Darnock, and then was further optimized by myself. We're going to be using combinations of our bow to take out the King of the Dead as quickly as possible. I am going to need to kind of like hyper focus during this part, because it is a very difficult strat, and I have to time all of my shots very, very carefully. So if this happens, you will see me kill the King of the Dead in 3 phases. Pokenoob can kind of talk about it because he took notes, and I'm very happy that he did, because then I could just focus on pure execution here. And for you guys here, I hope you guys enjoy this fight.
Yeah, my consumption of potatoes can't exist, so I play Brotato to consume my potatoes. But yeah, this fight's gonna be starting off in phase 1. He needs to get 4 charge shots and then a stab, and that would be the end of phase 1. After that, the win phase, which I think is phase 2 and 3, there's 1 charge shot and then 3 quick shots after that. If that goes well, we don't get into the maelstrom that happens afterwards. I can't remember exactly what happens, but it's not pleasant, and none of us want to end up there. So we want to finish this in 3 steps.
Nice. Okay, we're looking good so far. This is where like all the nerves of the run comes from. Make sure I get enough distance back. Okay, we're fine. That is interesting. It's not bad. but that's interesting. I don't think I've ever had the king just get stuck there. So we've got one more phase here. He's going to start throwing wind at us, but as long as we just spam charge shots, we should be okay.
There's the maelstrom we were talking about.
We got it. There we go. That is exactly how that fight is supposed to go, and I'm very happy to have shown that off. Oh, hi, Legolas. I've never had the camera clip through Legolas like that before. That's hilarious. So, yeah, that was a really, really good fight. Exactly what you would want to see in a run. That strat has, actually in my submission video, which was the previous world record before the one that I had right now, I would have gotten my goal time, but I didn't hit that King of the Dead quick kill. So being able to hit it in a marathon is huge, and I'm very happy. So this next section that we have is Falling Rocks. Falling Rocks, if you remember Paths of the Dead, which I really hope you do because we were there about 3 minutes ago, we're going to be doing the level in reverse now, but also kind of abridged because I don't want us to just go through the entire level because that would take a long time. But we have these rocks that are going to be chasing us, and with these rocks that chase us, they will kill us if we don't go fast, which thankfully we are a speedrunner, so we can go fast and get through this section really quickly. There are going to be a couple of fights that we have to take as well, but thankfully with the use of our devastating mode and Orc Hewer, we can clean up our fights very, very fast. That Orc Hewer combo, I talked about it a little bit when I purchased it, but it is 2 speed attacks and a fierce attack. So on my Xbox controller that I use to play this on PC, it is AAY. One of the other cool things about running this game on PC is you can bind your controls however you want. So some people go with default bindings. I think you're crazy if you do that. We do have a couple runners that did run on keyboard and mouse. I also think they're crazy for that. But that's just, you know, my own personal opinion. And, you know, above all, do what you want. You just might be crazy. Oh, that was... Oh, my gosh. That Orc Hewer could not have been better. That was actually, like, one of the coolest things I have ever done in this run. And now just 2 quick shots. That second fight went absolutely flawlessly. That is easily my weakest fight in this entire section, and I could not have asked for a better fight there. Holy cow. And now we go into our final fight for this section, which is back at the entrance here, but instead of like these nice fights that we've been getting, we get this. And there's just, it's just chaos. It is absolute chaos, and I both hate and love it. It's not nearly as bad when you're running this on co-op, because you have 2 players that kind of know what they're doing. But on single player, your party members just don't really... They're not the most helpful. I'm sorry to all you Aragorn and Gimli fans out there, but they're just kind of there. They don't really do much, and it's both a blessing and a curse, because they can't really mess up your... Well, actually, they don't really mess up your strats at all. Actually, they don't really help your strats. They just are purely there to mess things up when you are speedrunning this game. But it's fine. So we can still just take out enemies quickly, and now we have these 3 captains we have to fight. We just Orc Hewer them. See, like right there, Gimli hit that one guy, and that delayed my perfect mode, which... We'd think like, hey, it's not a big deal, but my perfect mode attacks, I do the maximum amount of melee damage when I am in perfect mode. And so not being able to have that damage, it's not great. So, yeah.
I'm still proud of Gimli.
I'm glad you
still
are,
proud of him.
because somebody has to be.
Somebody has to be. See? You get me.
I don't think I've ever had a moment where I'm proud of Gimli. I'm sorry. The only game, if you want a Lord of the Rings game where dwarves shine, first of all, there's a new game that just came out, Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. It is a survival sandbox type game that takes place in Moria. You get to customize your own dwarf. And there's Lord of the Rings War in the North, another hack and slash action RPG where the any % speedrun for single player, you actually play as a dwarf. The New Game Plus, you play as the elf because magic is OP. And oh my gosh, a troll! What the heck? That's scary. And there's all of its saliva that got pixelated in its wonderful 2004 glory. Bye, troll. So this is the Southern Gate. This, or as we like to call it in the community, the Orc Mosh Pit. Because, you know, there are a lot of orcs, and they will do everything in their power to prevent us from getting to these catapults. Because, you know, in order to enter the Kingdom of Gondor, you have to destroy its gate in order to get through it. It's pretty amazing. So now that we have that, we're going to run up on top of the gate so that way we can open the gate. And then, you know, because rather than re-aiming the catapults to destroy the gate, we're going to destroy a tower, which will then run up and open the gate. Which is logic I never even thought about how kind of skewed it is until just now. So there's a little fun random bit of skewed logic here. Legolas doing his cool thing and climbing up ladders in the way that he do. And we're just going to take that guy out, just so that way we don't have to deal with him on the way back. And now we're going to shoot this troll here. Kind of do some, like, quick shot. Well, not quick shots, but, like, cool, like, I'm a pro gamer flicks against some enemies as they come at us. But thankfully the RNG was actually pretty nice there. So now we also have a Oliphant, because... you know, elephants in Middle-earth. Why not? And also, they have archers on them. Oh, that orc hit me through the wall. Interesting. But 4 shots, he's going to explode, and bye-bye elephant. And now we get to open the gate. Opening the gate can be a little scary, because there are some moments where, yeah, you have to, like, time how you open the gate. So like there I did it too early, and that made it where the gate didn't do what it was supposed to do. Oh, I am also getting kind of scary low on health. I'm a little nervous, but I think we should be okay. And now the gate is opened, and we're gonna get some other guys that are just gonna pop in and say, yo, what's up? We've been standing on the other side and now the gate's open, and that's not cool, so we're gonna come check it out. And normally the game would make you be like, oh no, there's guys, but you can just dump oil on them. And you'll just see, oh, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna have to play this a little safe here. Because I don't want to get hit and die right at the end of the level, so I'm gonna focus for a second. Activate devastating mode, nope. Okay, we're fine. We got a health drop, we're good. We made it through, safety achieved, boom. We out of there. Whew. So that was...
You didn't become Legolas.
I was going to ask a quick question. Let's say worst case scenario happens, you end up dying there. How far back in a level do you go when you die in the game?
Some levels do have checkpoints, but for most of them, you have to completely restart. So it is very... That's why I played that really, really safely, because... I'd rather take a 5-second time loss than like a 3.5-minute time loss. So this is Pelennor Fields, another big RNG heavy level. We're going to be starting off by killing 60 enemies, which with Legolas, we are going to be obviously using our bow. And we have this RNG is a huge factor in this level because we have to be banking on enemies to give us arrows, as well as little as possible do we want enemies to try and attack us, because if they attack us, we then have to revert to other attacks other than just our bow. And as you've seen, our bow is just super effective, so the more we can use it, the better off we will be. There's an Easterling captain. We're just going to take him out. No big deal. Alright, so while I'm doing this, I'm going to be shooting my bow for a while. So, Joe, feel free to take it away.
Absolutely, I have you covered, Zojalyx. We have an $8 donation from Samwise Gamgee that says, my favorite character is the potato. Thank you so much, Samwise, for that dono. Everybody, if you have the opportunity to donate to Little Warriors, we're asking for you to just give us what your favorite character is in Lord of the Rings, and if you don't know who they are, you can just send us how you like your potatoes prepared, boiled, mash, or stick them in a stew. Every little bit's going to go to a great cause. And speaking of which, everything here is in Canadian dollars, and one Canadian dollar is about 72 cents United States dollars, which means that if you're in the US, you'd only have to donate about $14.42 in order to donate 20 Canadian dollars to the cause. And you always know I say this, no donation is too small or too large. You can donate with a name or anonymously, leave a comment, or nothing at all. Every little bit goes to the amazing cause of Little Warriors.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joe. So we're coming up to the end of this section. We got a little trolled here at the end. I feel like that just kind of happens for most of my runs here. But here we are going to be taking out these Oliphants, and we have 2 of them that we have to take out, and then we are going to be fighting the Witch King. The Witch King is a fight that for the longest time I struggled so hard on how to get it in one cycle. But after a little bit of practice and some discovery, I learned that the Witch King is going to have a very specific attack that he is going to be doing. Once he does that attack, we can then one cycle him every single time. So we just have to wait for him to do that attack, and then we spam our charge shots against him, and the Witch King will be taken out. So you will see that coming up here. Sometimes, though, RNG can be a huge factor and will just make it not fun. So we gotta first take out these elephants off screen. Just need one more shot. He's gonna explode. The screen is gonna shake only so slightly. So now that they're gonna get hit, we're gonna run over here. You're gonna see Eowyn and Mary standing there. Also, this section right here at the very end of this is gonna go out to all you fatales that are still here in chat, because this, if you like strong fatales, let me introduce you to the Shield Maiden of Rohan, Eowyn. She gets her own glorious moment to shine here, and I will let you guys enjoy, because it is just an amazing moment. Just an amazing moment. Just Eowyn just says, or the Witch King says, no man can slay me, and Eowyn says, I'm a woman and I'm going to slay you. And so she absolutely takes him out, and I love that moment. Just such a great moment from Eowyn, an amazing character, and I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Easily one of the best quotes from the movie.
Absolutely. Such an amazing moment. All right, so we have one more level in the Path of the King, and surprise, we're going to be playing as Gandalf. You thought we were going to be seeing the end of Gandalf when we got to Minas Tirith Courtyard, but no, Gandalf shows up here in the Black Gate. We're going to be fighting, first of all, the Mouth of Sauron, just this absolutely obnoxious character who is going to try and convince us that Frodo, the ring bearer, is dead. But we're instead going to use our Orcure and stun lock him, because for some reason the developers created a hack and slash game but didn't anticipate that the most basic combo in the entire game will stun lock a boss, and that will be him taken out in 35 seconds. And so you're probably wondering, okay, you've been playing as Legolas for a long time, why make the switch to Gandalf? The whole reason that we do make this switch to Gandalf is because of his magic and his range attacks. When we went into Minas Tirith Courtyard, we bought Light of the Forges, and Light of the Forges is a fire-based magic which will be very, very useful when we fight 3 ring wraiths later on in this level, actually near the very end. And so Gandalf's fire ability just goes through and just takes out enemies so quickly. So you can just see here in this level, where you would normally think that this is an auto-scroller, it actually isn't, because we have to destroy enemies quickly to manipulate captains to come out and spawn. And we need these once we destroy 6 captains, then the level will progress. So, obviously, doing everything that we can to make the captains come out. Here's the first one. We're just going to take him out by doing a couple hits, and because we're in perfect mode, his health bar gets taken out very quickly. Also, another fun gimmick with this level is you'll see these additional health bars. Our party members actually have health bars, so we cannot just ignore them throughout the entirety of this level. We have to keep them from perishing. And how we do that, obviously, taking out all the enemies quickly, but we also can stand next to our various party members and they will regen health. So it becomes a lot easier. It becomes something that we'll have to be kind of like half paying attention to. Usually I don't have a problem with worrying about enemies dying, but it is also very, very likely that it's not very, very likely, but it is possible. I have had it happen before. So for the sake of the marathon, I might lose a little bit of time to getting some captains if the party members don't play nice, but hopefully they should, because they're my friends and my fellowship, and I really want to obviously show you guys just how amazing this run is, and so I really hope that my fellowship can cooperate and continue to give us a good showing here for Prevent-a-Thon. And while I'm defeating these captains and defeating the armies of Sauron, make sure you guys get your donations into Little Warriors, because we have a Dicey Dungeons incentive that needs to be met, and it can only be done by you guys. You know, we cannot do this alone. One of the big themes throughout Tolkien's work is friendship, and so you guys should use the power of friendship to all work together. Give us a donation train. Let's give some love to Eowyn. I want to see a $5 donation train with the comment, "I am no man," and then from there we'll easily hit that Dicey Dungeons incentive, and then you guys can even work towards more incentives to be coming out for later in the marathon, because there's still a lot of marathon left and a lot more love to give.
Zojalyx with the absolutely pro call for donations. Everybody, I really, really agree. We are only $30 away from unlocking that extra bonus run for Dicey Dungeons. We're already going to get to see the Halloween episode rolling here with the Warrior. But if we can reach $150 attributed towards that incentive by the end of that Warrior run, you'll also unlock the Witch All Fights bonus run for Dicey Dungeons. Donating is so easy. You can type !donate in the chat, or simply click that message at the top of the chat. It's pinned there. Hit that link. It'll bring you to our donation landing page. Punch in your donation. Make sure you add that Dicey Dungeons incentive. Let's make it happen. I believe in you, chat.
You guys are awesome. So after we've killed these, taken out 3 captains, the level is splitting. Now, enemies are going to be coming in from 3 different positions rather than up front. Our first captain is going to run in from the right side here. 1 spear to break the armor, the second spear to finish him off, because spears are the strongest thing in this game. But the rest of the captains are going to be coming in from the front. There are going to be some archers that are going to be coming in from other sides, so I'm going to try and use my own ranged attacks to take them out. There's going to be this archer that's just going to sit here in a really obnoxious spot, so we're just going to take him out quickly. And then we're going to get this captain here. So one other weird thing about this run is, specifically in this level, is there is a captain that is going to be spawning that does not actually count towards our final total for captains. He's really annoying, and we don't like him because we have to go through all of the struggles of fighting him without any of the reward. So I don't know why, but I named him Chad. So Chad will be coming up. Hey, look at that. There he is, right on cue. But thankfully, we have our bubble attack here that we can use to pin these enemies back off into the side. And there goes one guy. There goes Chad. And that will be 6, which means any minute now, our ring wraiths will be spawning and will lead us to the end of the level and the end of the Path of the King. So here come the ring wraiths. Don't worry, their little fell beasts that they ride on will land and then disappear, because for some reason, flying mounts are not worth it to them. So we just use our magic attack here. totally not broken at all. This is perfectly balanced in this video game, and they're all taken out. And that will then lead us to the Black Gate. So, we're going to be leaving our fellowship here to defend the Black Gate and continue to buy time for Frodo and Sam to bring the ring to Mordor. But then the question then gets asked, where are Frodo and Sam? Where have our esteemed hobbits been spending their time while we have been doing everything else here? Well, we are going to be picking up with our hobbit friends back in the events of the previous movie, The Two Towers. And you're probably like, wait, what? Well, the hobbits had to start with one level somewhere, so we got them here in Osgiliath. We're going to be picking up with Samwise Gamgee is going to be the hobbit we are going to be playing as. And, well, one of the fun things, too, as we've been going through this run for a little under an hour, well, yeah, a little under an hour at this moment, we have been building up a lot of EXP. Well, we're switching paths here and switching characters. So Sam is going to be back at level 1. We are not getting a level 8 or a level 10 Sam like we would hope for. We are getting him at level 1. And hobbits, they are casually, Path of the Hobbit is the hardest path. And even from a speedrunning perspective, execution-wise, it is very difficult. But thankfully, I've ran this game enough where I don't get too worried about it. But we are going to first get a few kills specifically to make sure that Sam is level 2 at the start of the next level, Shelob's Lair, because Orcure is going to be very, very necessary to fight Shelob. But for Osgiliath here, you see that meter up in the top right corner. That is the Nazgul vision meter. If we spend too much time outside up on a rooftop, then that meter will fill, and if it fills all the way, we fail the level, and the Nazgul will have spotted Frodo and will then grab him and take him to their master, and all of the hope in Middle-earth will be lost, which is obviously not what we want to have happen. And so we are going to do everything in our power to make sure that we move quickly. Now, with this level, we want to not spend a lot of time taking out enemies because it is slow. So it can be very, very difficult to get through this level fast because these orcs are going to be very unpredictable right now and be a little obnoxious. But for the most part, they're going to be relatively predictable, except for those guys there. But we can just kind of give them one slap with our dagger, and that will then make them not nearly as much of a problem. This level, so one of the reasons why we have runners will... So the most frequent route that runners will be using, now that I'm done stumbling over my words, will be doing Helm's Deep, because that's the first level. You have to start with that one. And then they will actually jump over and do Path of the Hobbit. Do the first 2 levels in Path of the Hobbit, Osgiliath and Shelob's Lair, because execution-wise, they are both very, very difficult. And then they will pop over to do Path of the Wizard, and then finish off with Path of the King. So it is very normal if you decide to pick up this speed game. I will say this, do not do the route that I do. Do the most common route. Get through Path of the Hobbit quickly, because it is very easy to have runs die there when you are first starting out and you're not as familiar with how the various characters work or how the levels function. But as you get more and more experience, then yes, by all means you can pick up my route. So that's why you'll see in most runs, you will see them do Path of the Hobbit before going over to Path of the Wizard. I just chose to do Path of the Wizard because I don't reset as much on these Hobbit levels, so I can just get through the heavy RNG levels like Path of the Wizard, Pelennor Fields, or like Courtyard, Pelennor Fields, and Blackgate before coming over to Path of the Hobbit. Now, this Osgiliath has been going very, very well. We're actually approaching the end of this level. We're just going to go through, open a gate in the sewers, and then we will escape. But it's also the scariest part of the level, so I'm going to kind of focus up here for a second. Pokenoob, if you have anything you want to say, go for it. I'm going to focus up here while I try and open up this sewer gate.
We go through.
I mean, at this point, I'm just watching in amazement. They're throwing a lot of guys at you, and Sam's just like, no. There's a lot of orcs here really trying to end this run, but Yeah. No, we're just running through. If I was to commentate, this is like me watching the 400-meter sprint. Sam's just got a lot of feet going on all over the place. He's gonna be putting that gate down and all that. It's going really well. Except for that. Now that I've commentated, Curse, now I've made this run more interesting. Not on purpose. It's just the laws of commentary, I suppose. Hey, Joe.
We got through. We got through.
Yes, Pokey Noob.
Never mind. He got there. I just wanted to let you know he got there.
We got through. That was...
Good news, everybody.
Go for it.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just, you got through it, so I was giving a little
Oh.
professor for everybody. We did it. We
Yes.
got through the gate. It's okay.
We got through the goon, and now that we have gotten through the goon, we now arrive in Shelob's lair. This is the scariest level for most new runners. Because of the spiders that you have to deal with, and yeah, it's gonna be really chaotic. First, we're gonna be going through a maze here, but mazes as to speedrunners are just kind of jokes because you run through them so many times that you just memorize the fastest route through it. So we're going to go straight through here. We're gonna avoid, we're gonna get booped by a spider here, but we're just gonna knock him on his back and make him turtle a little bit. Give us a little bit of time to throw a torch through a wall and hit this web. So we're going to now progress through this level. This is kind of a cool level because, so while where hobbits lack in their regular fighting ability, the thing that the game does give is opportunities to make kind of the game fight for you, especially in this level and the next level, Prevent-a-Thon. We won't see it as much in this level, but we will see it more in Prevent-a-Thon, because we're just trying to focus on avoiding enemies. But it is a really cool moment. Oh, also, yes, I forgot to mention, if you are not happy with spiders and do struggle with a little bit of arachnophobia, please do look away. I know that this is a very late notice as spiders have already shown up, but I'm going to give it now. I should have given that earlier, and I do very much apologize. We're going to... I guess we're going to hit that. Okay. I took a very different route than I normally take in this room, but it's fine. And you know what? For the sake of the marathon, and I know that I have time to do it, we're going to show something off that actually was found by a runner, by Rubeetle, a runner who I've mentioned before, but is so difficult, it is not deemed viable for actual speedruns. But because I know I have time for it, we're going to go for it. This, my good friends, is Archer Skip. So if I set my angle just right, I can throw a torch and miss. That's okay. That happens most of the time. We're going to run over here and throw a torch over here just to help my angle set up a little bit better. But I can come over. I'm going to give this about 3 tries. So I have to kind of set the angle very, very particular. But if I set it just right, I can throw the torch. Okay. I know I can do this. The angle with Sam is a little awkward. You can ride along the wall. Oh, that one was really close. Okay, I'm going to give this one more try. One more try here. Okay. But basically, what you can do is you can set your angle to where the torch will ride along the wall. And the torch will hit that web, which would skip having to come all the way up here, throwing the torch at this web here. And then there are archers that will run out of the tunnel. But if you get the archer skip that I tried showing off, then these archers here, they don't spawn. And it skips a good chunk of time, but as you can see, it is very, very difficult that unless you get it first try, it's not worth going for in a run, unfortunately. And it is just not something that we have deemed viable enough. If anybody is able to find the perfect angle for it, we would absolutely love that, because that would be another huge time save. So now we're going to fight Shelob, and we are going to fight Shelob by whacking her with these fierce attacks. And, oh, that was a really weird phase. I don't know what happened there. But with each phase, she's going to get angry, and then she's going to climb up onto a wall. Normally, if you played this game casually, you had to defeat her kids that would spawn down. But if you just, like, hit her with a ranged attack, then she will just jump down. Now, it does create a little bit more chaos as there are going to be baby spiders coming at us the entire time, which can be a little scary, but at the same time, we are Samwise Gamgee. We are the gardener of Bag End. We are... Actually, that's pretty much the only title we've got going for us at this point, but we've got nothing to be afraid of. And so in this phase, she's going to run around. If we get too close to her, then she does damage to us, and we don't want that, and will knock us down. So we're just going to wait here, and then we're going to throw this. Oh, come on. That was very scary, getting hit by that spider. I did not want to get hit by Shelob as she jumped down. So this fight can be very difficult for newer runners, because if you aren't ready for Shelob's attacks, then she will just do a lot of damage to you. But overall, that was a really good fight. So I'm kind of sad I didn't get to show off Archer Skip, but I did that purely on a whim and didn't do it with any practice. So I'm not too surprised I didn't get it either, because that is just, it's a very, very difficult trick, and we've just deemed it unviable right now. But please, somebody, join the community and make it viable. We would love to have the perfect angle and the perfect setup for it, because that would be super fun and would help to be another huge time save in all of the major categories. So please, please do join us. I said this last night, and I was with 2 towers, and I will say it again with this game. Run my speed game. This game is cool. It is super fun, super easy to get into, and super accessible. It's only become more and more accessible the more that this game has been dove into. So yes, please do run our speed game. We love this game. Well, run my speed game. Pokenoob doesn't run this game unless I convince him to. That's okay. I expected that as a response.
You know, it's not that I wouldn't. It's just.
It's not that you wouldn't. It's just that you wouldn't.
I'm a randomizer guy. If you randomize Lord of the Rings,
I did actually post this as a suggestion for Archipelago. Because
that would be neat.
There are a lot of opportunities to put this game into Archipelago. You can have characters be checks that get sent over. Each upgrade that you purchase can be a check. Completing a level with a character can be a check. Ow, that was rude. So there's actually a lot more check opportunities. Oh, that's scary. That guy was not supposed to follow me. Okay, so this is Kirathungal. This is another level where we have to take out enemies quickly in order to progress. But like I said before, hobbits don't have the best fighting ability, and so you're probably like, streamer, you keep fighting. Yeah, that's because these enemies are not putting themselves in a good spots. But I can throw this fire pit down right here, setting all of these enemies on fire, except for that one guy, but we're just going to leave him. And they will all die without me having to do hardly any work, which is exactly what we want to do as Sam, because Sam does not take out enemies quickly when naturally fighting them. If we were doing this level as like Legolas or Gandalf, it would be a very, very different scenario. But for this level, we just have these abilities here. So we're going to run around this area here to drop this chandelier on enemies. But we have to, also there's going to be enemies up here on the stairs, and we don't want to deal with them. So we're going to throw spears at them. Okay, that was a weird spear. We're going to come over here, drop this bucket of oil, because this will put us into perfect mode for fighting these two guys. Not that I think it really makes a difference, except for when like something like this happens and they get like horribly split from you. Throw a spear at this guy, run over here, grab this spear, 1 spear at the captain, spear number 2 to take out the captain. He gets dropped down, and then we're going to drop it like it's hot, and down goes the chandelier.
Awesome. Zojalyx, do you mind if I jump in really quickly? We had some tickets being punched for that $5 AON I Am No Man train. We had a $5 donation from Anonymous that says, I am no man. Thank you very much, Anonymous. We also had a $5 donation from a tea tree that says, I am no man, and saying non-binary flag goes here. Thank you very much to the both of you for that donation. We ask of you, if you are a fan of Eowyn, if you are a fan of the series, all of our Fright Fatales friends who are here, join us in the I Am No Man $5 train. And speaking of things that are canonically a woman, and that would be the Witch of the Dicey Dungeons incentive that we just met. Everybody, thank you so much for unlocking that Halloween episode Witch All Fights bonus run. We're going to have that added on at the end of Dicey Dungeons. Because of your generosity, we have done it. I want to let you know about 2 incentives that are open that you can attribute your donations to. We have the Pet the Mayor incentive for Alan Wake 2 Night Springs, which comes up after Dicey Dungeons. We need $30 to unlock that so we can pet the mayor. And then after Alan Wake 2, we've got Golf with Your Grandmother for upgrade to 8 holes. That's going to take us from 5 to 8 at about 12 minutes to the run. We'll need $40 to unlock that. When you go to donate, hit the incentives, click it, hit the add button, and let's unlock even more Prevent-a-Thon.
Let's do it, chat. Thank you guys so much for all those donations. You guys are amazing. So we are now going to finish, well, we finished the main part of Cirith Ungol, and now we have the boss fight here. We have Gorbag, my least favorite boss fight in this entire game. Actually, second least favorite. My least favorite's actually Gollum. But Gorbag, we're going to hit him with 2 spears to stun him, times, and then we're going to stab him on the ground. This fight will go really, really well if we are able to stab him 3 times before the health bar disappears. But that can be kind of random, so we'll see how this goes. I have yet to actually get a 3 cycle of this boss fight. Also, he can be really fast and really annoying, so he can do that, which is obnoxious. I don't think I'm going to get it here just because of how much... Yep. I should have waited a little bit longer for him to get closer, but it's okay. We're just going to come over here. We're going to slap him to take him out, and then we're going to come stand on Frodo, and then when the cutscene starts, we're going to teleport to the complete other side of the arena for the cutscene.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. I know the way out.
All right, so also shout-outs to Sam spinning around in the cutscene. You see it very briefly in the corner, but he spins around, and it's amazing. So we have now just finished Cirith Ungol, and we are going to be going into our final run of the level. Oh, hey, remember when I said that we play as 3 characters? Sorry, I was wrong. We play as 4. We are, as we go into the last level, Crack of Doom, we are going to be playing as our ring bearer, Frodo. So we're going to be fighting Gollum here. Gollum is the most obnoxious boss fight, mainly because of his first 2 phases. His 2 phases are very, very annoying because they are completely random. After those first 2 phases, then we will be able to manipulate him, but we need him to cooperate in the best ways possible, and he is all... Well, maybe... Okay, Sam kind of came in clutch there, so we'll take it. We will take it. So yeah, we only have about 2 minutes left on the run, so I'm just going to give that note here for you guys in production for time, because time comes up in about 2 minutes. But we are going to be fighting Gollum. It is, wow, it's 2 minutes from there. That's crazy. So we're going to try, the goal of this fight is to try and bring Gollum to the edge. We want him to do a very specific jumping attack, so that way he jumps over to the edge, we make him kind of stutter on the edge, we knock him down, and then stab him. Now that we've gotten through the first 2 phases, we can actually manipulate him for the rest of the fight. So we're going to be coming over to this side. We're going to listen, wait for him to growl. Once he growls, that is our cue to run to the other side of the arena, because that's where Gollum spawns. I'm going to hit him once, run over to the edge. Gollum is then going to trigger his jump attack, and then we can rinse and repeat this for the rest of the fight. So that is going to be how this final boss fight is going to work. Now that we got through the first 2 phases, we're all good to go, unless something really weird happens. So while we're doing that, I'm going to take my time to do my shout shout outs because I know that we are running behind schedule. So first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to Prevent-a-Thon for obviously letting me show off this run. This run is very near and dear to my heart, and being able to show this game off to you guys has just been absolutely amazing. And to be able to show off 2 towers, I know it was a backup, but to be able to show it off yesterday was also really cool. I want to give huge shout outs to the Lord of the Rings speedrunning community. That would be the main ones for Return of the King: Maxi Lobes, Wolf Inn, PJ Arts of Darkness, 7 Swagmuffin 7, Rubeetle, Yamada, and Dino95 HD, as well as my co-op partner for this game, the Spectacular Slade. We just recently got a co-op world record for any % no cutscenes on PC, so make sure you guys go check that out. Also, time is going to be coming up here on the final stab when the cutscene starts, so get ready on time. I will give a cue here. I will stop my shout-outs here to do, so that way you guys are ready on time, because I don't want to cause you guys to be a little late on that. Oh, see, this is what I was talking about weird things. Gollum is being weird. Okay, here we go. So it will be happening.
GG.
And time. All right. So yeah, that was The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, any % solo, PC, no cutscenes. Other quick shout-outs too. I want to give shout-outs to the Running for Reals community. That is a marathon that I organize. We raise money for the Real Hope Project, which is an organization that creates videos of children in foster care to help them get adopted and find a forever family. So we will be having some announcements come up for some events for us there. So you guys should join our Discord. If you guys like Lord of the Rings stuff, feel free to follow me on Twitch, as well as subscribe to my YouTube. I do Lord of the Rings, Kingdom Hearts, Spider-Man, and Star Wars are kind of my main series that I'll kind of stick with. Basically, what I was obsessed with as a child, I'm still obsessed with as an adult, and so I speedrun games for it. Also, shout outs to Pokanoob for joining on commentary. It was great to have you. You did awesome, and I'm very thankful to have you as a co-commentator. I also want to give a shout out to my very, very supportive wife. She's been nothing but a continued supporter of my speedrunning hobby, as well as she has joined me as a co-op speedrunning partner for other games. We speedrun Lego The Hobbit together, as well as we do Overcooked 2 randomizer together. So huge shout outs to her. And my final shout out that I want to give, because I didn't give this yesterday, but I always love to give a huge shout out to my late mom. She was and always has been and always will be, even now, been my biggest supporter in anything that I do. And I know that if she were still here, she would be sitting in chat with the rest of you guys. And I am just very thankful to have been raised by a mom who just absolutely loved me and supported me in everything that I did. So yeah, that is my final shout out. Again, thank you guys so much. My name was Zojalyx. Continue to donate to Little Warriors. Continue to keep that donation train going for I Am No Man, to continue to celebrate all of the Fatales that are here in chat, coming from Fright Fatales and their very successful event that I know that they had this weekend.
Awesome. Zojalyx, thank you so much again for gracing us with that great run and those extremely sweet and kind words at the very end. Everybody in chat, let's give it up one more time for Zojalyx and that any % no cutscenes run of The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. That was phenomenal, and thank you, everybody watching, for helping us unlock that Dicey Dungeons incentive. Because of you, at the end of Dicey Dungeons, we're gonna get that bonus run of that Halloween episode, which all fights. I can't wait to see it. I'll tell you this, who also can't wait to see it is the person who got us across the finish line, and that was a $25 donation from Cubs Rule 21. And they say, insert funny comment here. And I thought really long and hard about that, and I were to say, if they were to do a Lord of the Rings remake, who do you think would play Frodo? I hear Elijah Wood. It's okay. You can boo at that. It was a bad joke. But I hope you don't leave, because we're going to be taking a very quick break. It's a great time for you to stretch, maybe grab a little bit of water, but don't touch that dial, because Prevent-a-Thon 4 will be right back.